Well, welcome to the 61 weekly meeting. This is week 24 for this season, and what I think is going to be our last weekly meeting here. It's a good deal. Yep, it's a good deal. So we
haven't even done the wave yet, Corey. Let's do the wave. Right?
Yeah, one time. Yeah, but so no, it's pretty exciting. It's a big moment. So we got some work yet carrying through this week. That's why we're having our meeting here today. Striping guys are still out there finishing a little bit of work at the Broad Street intersection, I believe. They went through and they striped the center left turn lane yesterday. So we were open for the weekend minus that center left turn lane and a few crosswalk block markings, and then today and yesterday they're going to finish those up. There's still going to likely be a little bit of pavement markings necessary yet, a little repair work, but I don't believe that will be completed quite today. So pavement markings today for the most part are going to be done for at least the next few weeks, and then really the only other thing we're waiting on is the Plum Street rewiring, and last week we talked that work was going to take place Wednesday, Thursday. That has been revised. It's going to be Thursday, Friday now. So we're anticipating to close Plum Street for entering traffic, from 58 and crossing traffic for Thursday. The contractor is very hopeful he can do this work in one day, but we're communicating 2 days right now. And so Friday, the intent is that Plum Street's back open. And in addition, the truck detour is down Friday. So pending success of this Plum Street rewiring, we're looking at this weekend we'd be officially 100% open. All signing would be down. The big expect delay signs would come down. Essentially, project's done. And so that'll be the real celebration at that point. But I'll send a press release out tomorrow specifying this Plum Street work just as a final notice for that, and we'll also do a press release indicating that the truck detour is down. And that's significant for oversized loads and all that. MnDOT would revise that restriction, and so 61 would be fully back open then for everybody. Beyond that, that's really the only last contractual work we have. Most of the streetlights are in place. I believe all the streetlights are in place. Some of them are lit, some of them aren't yet. There's a little bit of work yet to work through the different power sources. The streetlights are in different zones throughout the corridor. I think there's 3 different power sources for the lights in the downtown core here. And I think the north side ones for the most part have been worked through, but there's going to be a few that are still dark into next week. We're anticipating having those lit next week. The focus right now has been getting all the lights up, and then the electrician is going to be occupied end of this week on Plum Street. So we said next week was just fine for that. So should be by Labor Day, though. Everything should be lit up. And then just the last 2 things to keep in mind. We still have the trees, and we're actually kind of setting a week now for that. It's going to be the week of September 19th. We're anticipating getting those trees in the downtown area. And then they'd also do any remaining. There's 1 tree dead from last summer. They would repair that or replace that. And so from a landscaping standpoint, we're looking at having that work be done that week. I think they'd get it all in 1 week pretty easily. And then that's really everything from an actual project contractual requirement. We've identified the need to do some concrete repair. And that's going to carry over into the work from last summer too. We still need to solidify what that exactly looks like, and that schedule is going to be pretty random, just as it makes sense for those concrete crews to come in and do that work. So we're anticipating anytime this fall, really before the end of the season, and that work is going to be very isolated, very spot specific, and very limited in its impact. So it'd just be some minor coning, road work ahead, stuff you'd expect in just any just standard maintenance project. So and only in place as long as necessary, certainly no longer. So if it is decided, it's a set week or something, I could easily do an updated press release just to let folks know that work's taking place and the impacts, if any, are expected. But beyond that, that's where we're at.
So Thursday with that Friday, the Plum Street closure there, the detour signs will be set up similar to what we had before. We're going to bring them over to Bush Street. All that signage will bring both 63 traffic and 58 traffic over to Bush to get full access to Highway 61 at Bush Street.
Yep. And as we spoke last week, it's still right in, right out. It will be. So just Plum Street, the signal will be black. It will not be lit. It can't be lit as they're rewiring it. And then the outside lanes right at the intersection will be closed, just so they have a safe place to work. So we'll be constricted to one lane, the inside lane through the intersection, but immediately before and immediately after, it'll widen back out to 2 lanes. And so folks can still take a right from that inside lane, both onto Plum going south and both, onto Plum going north. But it's going to be the crossing traffic and the left turning traffic that we can't allow without a functioning signal. So
basically you're saying that with that right in, right out, there's access to people who want to get to the parking lot behind the shoe, the upper deck, from the north piece of Plum Street, and then also turning right by Farron's there if you're going on that block to a business, Marie's or something along that block. So there's still access in there. We just can't have that crossing traffic at the signal with the signal down. So, and the signage will be up. Detour signage will be in place to direct people around that area. And then also, is a good point to bring up, I just found out a couple hours ago from our maintenance crew, not the best of news, but we have to, our water department has to close Bush Street north of 61 to do 2 valve repairs that were found during this project, and their leaks have gotten worse. So they have to replace 2 valves, and they're going to start that. They've already put their press release out, I believe, just this morning. For 7 a.m. tomorrow, they'll close Bush Street. They'll still allow traffic to come in down off of Levy by the depot. Access will be maintained to St. James parking lot and to the Red Wing Shoe, the parking behind Red Wing Shoe. But there won't be any through traffic coming off the highway to go down Bush Street, so they can get those valves fixed on that portion of Bush, kind of in that area down by where the farmer's market is, and get those valves replaced and concrete repoured, so they could open that and get curing on the concrete, open that back up early next week, is what I'd heard. So, and they've worked that all out. They've worked it out with the YMCA. There's going to be a water outage for the Y. They've worked out the details of that, so that they've talked to the St. James as far as access, and that's all handled. That's not part of the Meyer contract. That's a maintenance item through our water department. So they asked me to make mention of it in today's meeting so everyone knew, but they've been coordinating directly with the affected businesses in there, and they'll be handled by the city utilities department. So I just wanted to make mention of that. Ryan, you want to give a quick update on maybe Levy Road down there?
Yeah, sure, why not? I need to say something today too.
Yeah, I'll let you give that update. Okay. I was down there this morning, but yeah.
Levy Road, they're striping that one as well. We got all the surfaces put down, everything's growing up pretty nice. We need to get the grass mowed, but it's looking good down there. Just cleaning up the last few catch basins and manholes and getting everything ready for a punchless walk, which I think they're talking about next Tuesday. So I think probably by the end of this week, or maybe shortly into next week, we won't have any more presence in Red Wing, is kind of the plan.
Yeah. I think the one part of Levy that still needs the final surface is that Levy parking lot. So we need, and Larry told me that's on Thursday, and then we will stripe that with city crews because your striper will be, of course, out of town after today. They're down there putting the stripes at the boathouse parking lot, getting those final stripes in.
And some touch up at the roundabout.
And some touch up at the roundabout I saw this morning as well, so fixing some of the striping on the entry. So it looks like all the signage is in, and and there will be, as there is on Main Street, Levy will have the same maintenance kind of things that we're working with the concrete contractor on, fixing some joints and where there may be repours and things like that. So there will be work down there this fall, but more of that minor coning off work areas and things like that. So it's essentially open, and we do have to look at all the signage that's out on the periphery from that job as well, directing people to use different roads. We need to kind of clean up all the signage entering from all of our different highways coming into town. So I've seen some that are straggler signs out there that don't make any sense anymore, telling all Red Wing grain trucks to use Broad. Well, they don't have to do that anymore. So you've probably seen it as well. That's still hanging out there. So we're going to get all that kind of cleaned up this week as part of that project. So that's a good update on both projects. How about, is there any questions from the audience you got?
Is it on? Oh, just a quick question. South of town, there's construction going on now down there too. It looks like a bridge or something. What's happening? Can you just give a quick update on that? We're getting questions on that. It's on the right side of 61 heading south. As you go under the underpass, it's like all along that bank.
Oh, yes. That's this. I'm sorry. Yes, I know exactly what that project is. I've been dealing with that one as well. That's Xcel Energy is replacing their underground 69 kV transmission line. They're rerouting that in anticipation for the 63 bridge project next year. They're getting out of the way for the new button hook. So that will be an outside lane closure while they're working along that shoulder. That gives them work room for putting in that new cable and duct bank for the Xcel project. And then they'll be dropping down. They'll actually be impacting residents down in that on 4th Street as they're rerouting. So we're working with them on that and have a project update meeting with them today at 1 to see their schedule-wise. But that is a planned project that will come right through on 4th, right through the downtown here, past City Hall, and it will tie in what I call Copland's Alley, kind of right behind us here. So they'll be in front of the Elks here, within, I don't know, if a month or 3 weeks. They'll be, on 4th Street, working their way across with this new duct bank. And that is anticipated to all be completed this year, so it's out of the way for next year's bridge project. Good question. Yep. Anything else?
No, we just really would like to say thank you to everybody that has worked so hard on this project. It has been a long 2 years for all of us, but we really feel like everything went really as well as we could expect on a major project like this. It's just wonderful being downtown today and seeing all the signs go away and all that orange is out of there and the lanes are open. So we are so appreciative, and thanks to all of our residents, visitors, and businesses that also had to cooperate and put a lot of support into this project as well. So thanks to all you guys. Great job.
Yeah, thank you, and thanks to the Main Event Group as well. Really keep in contact with the businesses, and I think, when that first got talked about getting started, and we weren't sure how that would all fit in with the project, I think it's a model that other communities could use. This is how you have an effort from the chamber there to get that group put together and be able to have those communications directly with the businesses, and then funnel stuff back to the project managers to make sure things are addressed. And all throughout the project, those are important things to hear, that and where we needed to change something or fix something or make adjustments. So I want to thank the Main Event Group as well for the support through this project. All right. I think that's all I have. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
Yep.